Okay, so what happens if the design considerations are not met, right? So it's also possible that certain functionalities can seep through, yeah, and your customer will still go and buy the product, but only over the course of the operations, he or she will come to know that the product is not meeting the specification or the requirements. It's highly likely. There are a lot of famous recalls historically, yeah, which had incurred a lot of cost to the company, right? For example, we have the GM ignition switch issue. Okay, so what happened in this particular case is that the this particular model of the vehicle, yeah, had a faulty ignition switch, yeah, which would shut down the engine without any warning. Okay, now what would also happen is when the engine is also shutting down, okay, there is also a safety issue because your airbags may not be deployed or your other components may not be safety components may not perform, yeah. So in the year 2014, yeah, uh, GM incurred almost 4.1 billion of cost in terms of recalling 30 million cars worldwide. Yeah, so I think economically, I mean their stocks also took a hit. Yeah, because of this particular issue, it also dropped 15%. Right. I mean, uh, the key point here is that historically we have the lessons that the design considerations are very key, and if in case there are certain gaps in design consideration, it could cost the company tremendously. Yeah, of course, when you're working, you will be working in a complex environment wherein there will be hundreds and thousands of components interacting, and the system as such is very complex. Yeah, of course. Uh, there is always a risk of recall, mainly because the requirements would get into thousands of levels. Yeah, and then there could also always be a possibility that you may also overlooked or missed on certain key requirements, right? So coming to the another case, Takata recalled almost 100 million inflators or the airbags, right? So what happened here is this inflators can explode, and it can send out sharp material, yeah, which can instantly killed a few people. Okay, so it's very important from the safety standpoint that this particular issue costed Takata some 24 billion. I think this is also one of the biggest recall in the history. Yeah, and recalls are always costly, right? I mean, this is very important. Yeah, because you are going to replace the entire product or the entire the components for free, right? And it would also possible that you may end up as a company getting into a legal commitments. Yeah, so uh, I think to sum up, we saw a lot of design considerations, starting from reliability, strength, life, noise, vibration, harshness, safety, so on and so forth. Yeah. So there could also be other design considerations, which is very important. Yeah. So it's important that we get these design considerations clarified at the start of the project from the customer. Yeah, the start of design from the customer, and try to understand the implicit and the explicit considerations. Yeah, there could be certain explicit considerations and there could be certain implicit considerations. Yeah, a few things which customer will explicitly or openly say, I need this. but there are few considerations like noise, vibration, and harshness, right? The customer may or may not say it explicitly, but you have to make sure you design the product for a very little amount of noise, vibration, and harshness level. So please take these design considerations into mind as you get on to design the product. Yeah, and not to forget, the recalls are always costly, or the engineering repairs are always costly. Yeah, so it's very easy to fix a design at the earliest state of time. Yeah, say for example, yeah, over time your cost of replacement also increases exponentially over time. Yeah, so it's going to cost you very little during the initial stage of product development. Yeah, so once the product goes to the customer and gets into the maintenance or whatever operations or whatever it is, yeah, it is going to get into the area where you have to replace it, where you have to repair it, or we have to replace it, and the cost is going to increase. Yeah, so the cost of repairs are always costly, and the only solution to it is you fix it at the design stage. Yeah, so I think we have covered the design considerations, and we have also covered few examples of looking at where recalls were costly. Of course, there are other certain examples which you can certainly browse in the internet and look into. Yeah.